Alrighty, good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, depending on where you're watching from. My name is CJ Curry. It's the CJ Curry Show, and it's presented by PrizePicks. Thank you to PrizePicks for sponsoring today's show. Guys, if you don't play on PrizePicks yet, it's a great time to get started. Why is that? Well, they just started their 12 days of Picksmas promotion. So every single day, we're going to get a different promotion leading all the way up to Christmas Day. And on top of that, if you've deposited on PrizePicks before, well, you don't qualify for this. But first-time depositors, you get a 100% instant deposit match on your first deposit all the way up to $100, meaning every dollar you put in up to $100 when you use promo code Curry, they're going to match that dollar for dollar. Now, I know a lot of you folks are already playing on PrizePicks. You're excited about the 12 days of Picksmas. So this offer only goes out to those who have not yet decided to jump on the PrizePicks train. Guys, take advantage. I've left the link down in the description below. Don't delay, all right? Jump in with PrizePicks today. Get started. You're going to join at a great time. Get that 100% instant deposit match, 12 days of Picksmas. Plus, we've got happy hour today, meaning minimum entry amounts will be lowered down to $1, from $5 down to $1. So you can put $1 in and potentially get up to $25 out, going 6 for 6 on one of their 6-pick flex entries. So fantastic way to play, okay, over on PrizePicks. Changing the way that daily fantasy sports are played. Appreciate everybody being here. Yesterday was pretty good overall. I know the Lionel Messi taco did not end up being so sweet. That one ended up falling short. We lost by the hook, but the NBA tacos were pretty good. Joel Embiid hit his points. I think LeBron James was another one for his points, right? So those guys ended up coming through clutch. Hopefully you were able to take those tacos, pair them up with something else, and profit yesterday. I think yesterday was a pretty good day overall. Although I will say this, there was a lot, and I tweeted this out. Guys, follow me on Twitter if you don't, at Curry, the creator. I tweeted this out last night. I said, National Blowout Association. There was a lot of blowouts yesterday. All of those games looked like they were supposed to be high total games, like the spread was supposed to be close and competitive. And we ended up with like, what, 4 out of the 5 games blowing out or something like that? How many games were there? 5 or 6? The only game that was even remotely close and competitive was the Los Angeles Lakers-Boston Celtics game. That game was a lot of fun. Ended up going to overtime. But even like Anthony Davis at 12.5 rebounds, even in overtime, my guy could not find that 13th rebound. But anyway, I think a lot of the picks that we discussed on yesterday's show ended up kind of working out for the most part. You know, we're never going to get everything 100% right. Never going to get everything correct, but I think for the most part, we landed on some pretty solid options. We talked about Giannis's rebounds. Those ended up working out. Anthony Davis points ended up working out against Blake Griffin. No Al Horford. There was a lot of stuff we talked about. But anyway, let's get into it, guys. I want to say what's up to everybody in the live chat. If you're joining me for the very first time, make sure you slap that subscribe button. Go ahead and hit that like as well. Guys, I'm giving away a free 2-pick power play every single day. What does that mean? Well, it's risk-free. You get both of the picks right, you win $100. All you have to do is be a subscriber. You hit the like button, and then once the replay of today's show goes live up on YouTube, you head to the comment section and you comment what your favorite prop, favorite pick of the day is. Listen, you don't have to get it right. You don't have to get it wrong. It doesn't matter if you get it right or wrong. Just comment your best play, the play you feel most confident in. Maybe somebody sees your comment in the comment section, they tail that pick, and you end up helping a fellow viewer, a fellow community member out, all right? That's what it's all about. We're trying to help each other with these comments down in the comment section. So leave a pick, leave a play that you feel most confident about, the one that you think is going to work out, the one that's going to hit, all right? And then when I go live on the next day, the next show, I'm going to randomly pick one of you guys. So we're going to pick somebody today from yesterday's comment section, somebody who has subscribed, hit that like button, and left a comment on yesterday's replay. And we're going to get them set up with a free 2-pick power play to win $100 on PrizePicks. I'm giving back. Every time I go live, I'm giving back to you guys. Not only am I giving back in terms of the content that I provide, but I'm also trying to give back, put a little bit more money in your PrizePicks accounts, all right? That's what it's all about. It's the season to give, so we're going to try and give back. Let's run through these chat comments real quick. We've got Mirtix. He's saying, yo, yo, yo. Joey Jones is in the building. Yo, back to you. Todd Live for Sunday says, good morning, CJ. Let's take this 10-game slate and cash in on a few props. I like the energy. I like that thought process. I like that idea. I'm with you on that. We're going to bring the energy. We're going to bring, hopefully, some solid research to the table and lead you guys to the profits. Bearded Gator says, good morning, gang. I hope everyone has a great day. Back at you, Bearded Gator. Thank you for the nice comment. Everyday Fantasy, a.k.a. our guy, Don P. If you're in the Patreon, in the Discord, you know this guy well, Don P. He's one of our Gold Gang NBA guys in there. He's always posting some really solid picks. Guys, if you want to join the Patreon community, join the Discord community, it's just a group of like-minded individuals. We're sharing our research. We're sharing our picks. We're sharing our entries, our findings. I write up a few plays. Sometimes they hit. Sometimes they don't. All right? That's the name of the game. We're gambling here. Nothing's guaranteed. Nothing is for sure. Nobody knows anything. We're all just guessing. We're all guessing, but we're trying to do our best with our research, our projections, etc. Try to guess right? We want to guess right more than wrong, and that's what the community is all about. So it's just $20 a month. It helps support the show, helps support my content, and you get access to, like I said, a big community of people who are in there just, trying to win, trying to get to the bag every single day. That's what it's all about. Joey Jones says, let's get this hump day bread. We got Roy in the building. He was all over that. James Harden, 20.5 points. Harden made it a sweat, but he did end up coming through with more than 20.5 points. He hit his assists too, so that was another good look. I think we might have mentioned that in the show yesterday. Hayes is here. He says, what's good, everyone? Happy hump day. Back at you, Mr. Hayes. Joseph Rogers already spitting out some plays. He's like a Jamal Murray for more than 8.5 rebounds and assists. All right, we could look at that one. Just remind me. We'll get to the Q&A portion in just a moment after we run through today's slate. J Full a Metal K says, what's up, CJ? Bad Tuesday, but hit a nice 20x. All right, good for you, buddy. No Limit says, let's get it, boys. I'm back. Curry, what you got cooking today? We'll get to that in just a minute. Anthony Edwards, I got a nice 5-leg. All right, good for you. Jonathan, good morning to you. T-Bone, what's up? Wesley Winston, what's up, boss man? He won one of our Patreon giveaways. We give away free entries in Patreon as well. Shout out to Wesley Winston. Back-to-back months winning one of those risk-free 2-pick power plays to score $100. I give away over 40 of those per month to Patreon members. So shout out to Wesley, who's cashed in twice now. Back-to-back months. R. Cox is in the building. What's up? T. Wade says, can't believe they took off Terry Rozier. Ooh, I don't know about that. Haven't looked into that one. Dustin Lavoy, good morning to you. Donnie hit 4 out of 6 yesterday. Anthony, shout out to you. Thanks for being here. Chris Raptor's in the building. Evan's in the building. We won last night. What's up, CJ? Good to hear, Evan. Good to hear. Ryan's here. Good morning to you. Lamar, good morning to you. Denham Banks, why did they take the Hornets off the board? That's a good question. I'm not quite sure, but I was already fielding questions about Terry Rozier, so we'll have to see what's up. Voodoo number 9 says, CJ, can you give my homie Vega good luck on finishing his test? He needs it. Ha ha ha. Appreciate you, brother. Hey, Vega, whoever you are, wherever you may be, good luck. Please do well on your test. Yours truly, CJ. There you go. Hopefully we covered that. Jared, what's up? Good to see you here. Pete's in the building. I see you, Pete. Anybody that I might have missed, salute to you. Thanks for being here. Like I said, guys, you're going to want to make sure that you're subscribed, that you run those likes up, and that you leave that comment because you're going to be eligible to win one of those risk-free 2-pick power plays. Guys, let's go ahead and get into what's been popping over on PrizePicks. A lot of exciting stuff going on. They got the 12 days of Picksmas going right now. That's right. They're running a promo every single day, starting today, up until Christmas Day. They're going to be running different promos to celebrate the holidays. So the shout out to PrizePicks, man. Listen, they don't have to do this. They could just keep taking our money. They could just keep robbing us blind. They could keep kicking our butts, but no, they're giving back, man. They're in the giving spirit. So shout out to PrizePicks for at least giving us the opportunity to put a little bit more cash in our pockets. 'Tis the season for giving. So 12 days of Picksmas, unwrap a new promo every day. A new promotion will be unveiled at midnight Eastern Time every day from 12:14 to 12:25. Details below. So today is December the 14th. It is the first day of Picksmas. Let's see, right about there looks good. My big head's not in the way. So today, December 14th, is Merry Madness, day 1. So if you play $25 in entries, you get a free entry to win $100. If you play $100, you get a free entry to win $250. You play $250 worth of entries. Now we're talking about some high rolling type of stuff right here. A lot of people don't even have $250 in their account, let alone put $250 in play every single day. But if you have that kind of money and you're playing $250, you're going to get a free entry to win $500. And if you play $500, you get a free entry to win $1,000. So I think most people will probably qualify for that first one, that $25 promotion. You put $25 in play today, you're going to get a free entry to win $100. Now, I believe if we get into today's details about the promotion, that entries must be placed from midnight until 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time today, 12:14, with only players in action on 12:14. So you cannot take, let's say, some NFL players. All right, no NFL games today. There is an NFL game tomorrow, but that would not qualify. These guys have to be in action, have to be taking the court, taking the field, taking the playing surface in their respective sports today. Not tomorrow, not Sunday. So don't put any NFL picks in there. That does not count. They have to be playing today. So we got 10 NBA games. I'm assuming most of you are here for the NBA picks anyway. So we're probably going to just stick with some basketball. Entries placed with credit or promo funds will count. So you can use credits or promo credits, either way. But free entries will not count. Meaning if you have one of those risk-free 2-pick power plays that I like to give out, that does not count, all right? Rewards will be paid out by noon on 12/15. So by noon tomorrow Eastern Time, you'll get a 5-pick flex entry, and rewards do not stack. No stacking, my friends. Only one per person. So definitely read into these details a little bit more, but essentially, yes, if you play $25 worth of entries today, you'll get a free entry to win $100. So that's basically like a 10-pick or $10 5-pick rather, a $10 5-pick play. You get all 5 right, you win $100. Same situation. If you play 100, you get a free entry to win $250. That's a $25 5-pick flex entry. So if you get 5 out of 5 right, it turns into $250. $50 free pick by putting $250 in play. And then you get a $100 5-pick flex entry if you put $500 in play. So like I said, most folks are probably going to be down here at the bottom, the $25 option where you get a free entry to win $100. So it's a $10 5-pick flex entry. So not a bad way to kind of start this 12 days of Picksmas promotion, right? Not a bad way to start things. Most of us are going to put $25 in play anyway. So if you do, like I said, you're gonna reap the benefits, reap the rewards. Let's go ahead and move forward. Let's pick a winner from yesterday's comment section. As I said, subscribers, those who subscribe, leave comments, you're going to be rewarded here with a risk-free 2-pick power play. So I've already got the comments from yesterday's show already preloaded here. There was a total of 41 unique comments. So now all we have left to do is hit the start button. It's going to start the raffle, pick a random winner. Let's hope we don't get a repeat winner here. Let's get somebody new. There we go. Bang. All right. One of our Patreon members, Kyle Kaz. His comment was he liked Marcus Smart for more than his rebounds. So Kyle, congratulations. Hopefully you're watching. If not, maybe you've caught us on the replay here. Kyle, you have won a risk-free 2-pick power play to score $100 over on PrizePicks. Thank you for being a subscriber. Thank you for being a Patreon member. Thank you for slapping that like button for me daily. And thank you for leaving that comment about Marcus Smart. Now all you have to do is DM me. You could either DM me in Discord, which is probably going to be the way that you do it, since you are a Patreon member. But if not, you can always DM me on Twitter at Curry the Creator to get set up to receive your risk-free 2-pick power play for $100 on PrizePicks. Congratulations to you, Kyle. I don't know if you're here or not. I didn't see you in the comments. Maybe I did and I forgot, but Kyle, you won. All right. Shoot me a DM. All right, which brings us to Dribble. We're going to try to figure out today's mystery player of the day. We've got to connect Aaron Gordon on the Denver Nuggets to Tyler Herro on the Miami Heat using players that they may have played with, like mutual teammates, in other words. So we know Aaron Gordon's only played for 2 teams, right? Played for the Orlando Magic for a long time. Recently traded to the Denver Nuggets in the last couple of years. Tyler Herro has been with the Miami Heat for his entire career. So throw some guesses out there. Give me some names, guys. Who are we liking? Who are we liking here? Aaron Gordon's played with a lot of different players in Orlando. I mean, you got like Vucevic, Evan Fournier. Those are some names that he's played with. More recently, Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray. I mean, Banchero. No, Banchero's never played with Aaron Gordon or Tyler Herro. Can't be him. Dwayne Dedmon, I actually kind of like that. Some of you may know, some of you may not know, that Dwayne Dedmon once upon a time was with the Orlando Magic, backing up Nikola Vucevic. Yeah. And Dwayne Dedmon obviously is with the Miami Heat. I think whoever just said Dwayne Dedmon, Jose Mata, I think you might be onto something here. I think it might be Dwayne Dedmon for the win. Yes, it is. Bang! One guess, all it took. Shout out to Jose. You are absolutely correct, my friend. It is Dwayne Dedmon, once a member with the Orlando Magic, teammates of Aaron Gordon, currently with the Miami Heat, another South Florida team. Dwayne Dedmon was the exact answer. Good job, Jose. You got it right. All right, now that our brains are all fired up, we're all warmed up, let's get into today's NBA slate. We got 10 games to talk about today. We're going to go split screen mode here. We'll throw PrizePicks over on one side. We'll look at RotoWire on the other side. Let's refresh, make sure we got all the latest injury news and updates pulled in. And we'll click the NBA section here and take a look at what we've got. All right, Golden State and Indiana, first game of the night, tipping off at 7 p.m. Golden State took the floor last night against the Milwaukee Bucks. So they're going to be on a back-to-back tonight. Maybe fatigue plays a factor for some of these old heads on the Golden State Warriors. We'll have to see. Andrew Wiggins was out last night. Looks like Andrew Wiggins is going to be out again tonight. I know we were liking some Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole did not have the greatest of games. In fact, a whole lot of players on the Golden State Warriors didn't do much. Seemed like the role players were very involved. But I love this game here because it's got a total of 238.5 points, guys. We're pushing towards 240 points between these two teams. Just a 1.5 point spread. So it's a very high scoring game. Looks like it's going to be one that stays close, competitive. As far as Indiana injury news goes, we got Daniel Tice, Chris Duarte, and Mr. Brown. Not sure who that is. Aaron Nesmith, a game time decision. So it looks like it's going to be Halliburton, Nembhard, Buddy Hield, Jalen Smith, and Miles Turner taking the floor tonight. I don't understand how Indiana, with this starting lineup, look, these players are good, but they're not great. How is Indiana going to stay in this game? I don't know. Am I tripping? Maybe because Golden State's on a back-to-back. Maybe because they don't have Andrew Wiggins. They expect this game to stay close, competitive. Maybe because they're on the road in Indiana, but Golden State, a 1.5 point favorite? I just don't understand how this game's going to stay close and competitive. Really kind of interesting there, actually. Give me 1 minute here. Let me see if I can deal with this little bot. Let me see if I can deal with this little bot. Get this little porn bot out of here. Hold on. Let me see if I can rid ourselves of this. If not, we'll just have to deal with it. But come on, chat, load up. Doesn't look like the live chat's gonna let me. No. All right. Well, I guess. Oh, there we go. Let me see. Let me ban this bot real quick. Hold on. We want to hide user. There we go. We should be good. No more porn. Boom. Got rid of the porn. Anyway, Golden State, Indiana, very high total game. I don't understand how the spread is just 1.5. I mean, I would assume Golden State's a much better team, but we've seen some crazy stuff happen, right? So maybe it does end up staying close and competitive. Either way, though, this looks like a really fun game to potentially target. We know that just from past games that the Golden State Warriors, as far as their interior defense, not very good, right? We go take a look at the fantasy score allowed by the Golden State Warriors, giving up over 53 fantasy points per game. So maybe a guy like Miles Turner makes for a fine play today. Possibly, maybe Miles Turner. He's a guy who is capable of racking up some big time fantasy scores. When we take a look at his ability to block shots, get steals, things of that nature. If he gets those blocks and steals going, I mean, sky's the limit, right? Because you get 3 points apiece for every block and every steal that your player racks up for you over on PrizePicks. So he could be an interesting look. Jumping back over to the other players from this game, Buddy Hield's been really good lately. So maybe his 3-point prop, if they're giving that to us, maybe we look for Buddy Hield at 3.5 3-point makes. Fell short in his last game, but had hit in like 5 straight games. So maybe Buddy Hield for his 3-point makes could be a solid look. Just taking a look at the DVP here. Buddy playing shooting guard. We go find the Golden State Warriors. They're giving up about, let's see, almost 3-point makes per game to shooting guards. We go to the small forward position, which is where Buddy's been playing with Nembhard playing shooting guard. Buddy's kind of the other wing player. They're number 1 in terms of 3-pointers allowed to small forwards. So maybe that benefits a guy like Buddy Hield. That could be a possible good look for you as well. Buddy Hield over 3.5 3-point makes. So those are some options for you from the first one. Obviously on the Golden State side, Indiana, not very good defensively either. So we just take a quick look here at some of the numbers that Indiana's given up. I wish that that Golden State had a solid center, because Indiana's given up the second most fantasy score per game, which means over 27 points, over 17 rebounds. So maybe we look at a guy like Kevon Looney at 7.5 rebounds if he's up on the board. I don't see any Golden State players at the moment, but maybe if he's back up at like 7.5 rebounds like he was last night against Milwaukee, maybe we'd take Kevon Looney for more than 7.5 rebounds versus the Indiana Pacers, as Indiana's given up the second most rebounds per game to centers. So I think Kevon Looney's rebounds could be an interesting play as well. What else from the Golden State side? Maybe we look at Steph Curry in a little bit of a bounce back game. I think he struggled last night a little bit against the Milwaukee Bucks. Didn't have the greatest of games. He typically does not play well against the Milwaukee Bucks, for what it's worth. So I didn't have high expectations of Steph Curry to begin with last night against Milwaukee, but against Indiana has given up over 22 points, over 5 rebounds, and over 7 assists. So maybe we look at Steph Curry in a bit of a bounce back spot, or Jordan Poole in a little bit of a bounce back spot, right? Both of those guys kind of struggled without Andrew Wiggins and against the Milwaukee Bucks last night. All right, Atlanta and Orlando, probably going to be one of those games that I just tried to avoid. Like I've said all season long, the Orlando Magic have been one of the teams that is just very difficult to figure out. They've had a lot of interchangeable pieces, a lot of faces entering and exiting the starting lineups. It's looking like tonight's starting lineup is going to be one that we've seen for the last couple of games, which is Markelle Fultz, Franz Wagner, Paolo Banchero, Bol, and Mo Wagner playing the center spot. No Wendell Carter Jr., Gary Harris, no Jonathan Isaac, no Chuma Okeke, no Jalen Suggs. So that's going to be kind of the situation on the Orlando side. Atlanta's dealing with their own list of injuries. We know DeJounte Murray is going to be out. So no Murray. John Collins going to be out as well. Trae Young is a game time decision. If he sits out, man, they're really going to be strapped for offense, right? You're going to have Trent Forrest, who? AJ Griffin, who? DeAndre Hunter. Okay, we know DeAndre Hunter. And then Clint Capella, man in the middle playing center. So I think they play Trae Young tonight, but we'll see. We'll see. It's a divisional rivalry game. We'll say Southeast Division rivalry game. You got the Atlanta Hawks traveling to Orlando to take on my Orlando Magic. Decent total, though. 225 points with a 2.5-point spread. So they kind of expect this game to stay close and competitive. But I think there's better games for us to look at. So Detroit at Charlotte also tipping off at 7 p.m. As you guys said, that they took down some of the Charlotte Hornets off of the board. Well, I think that's largely in part due to LaMelo Ball's status. LaMelo Ball currently a game time decision, which makes some sense, right? Why they would pull the Charlotte Hornets off the board, because they're waiting for LaMelo Ball news. LaMelo might end up playing tonight. And if he plays, well, that's obviously going to impact the Charlotte Hornets in a major way. So stay on top of that news. LaMelo Ball currently a game time decision. No Gordon Hayward, no Martin, no Smith, no Williams for Charlotte. Those guys have been out for a number of games. Detroit, we just got news the other night that Cade Cunningham's going to be out for the rest of the season. Apparently something's going on with his shin. He's going to have surgery on his shin. That's going to put him on the shelf for the rest of the year. So no more Cade Cunningham. Unfortunate, but Detroit does have some pretty talented guards. The likes of Killian Hayes and Jaden Ivey have been doing well in that backcourt for the Detroit Pistons. And then there's rumors already floating around that Bojan Bogdanovic might be a trade target for the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, I know I have to have some Lakers fans out there. Lakers fans, do you like Bojan Bogdanovic? Are you guys interested in acquiring Bogdanovic in a trade? I mean, he just got to Detroit. They're already talking about making a trade for him. The Lakers are trying to get after Bogdanovic, according to the rumors. You guys let me know, Lakers fans. You like Bogdanovic in LA? It might be a good fit. 227.5 points on this game with a 3-point spread. Again, I'm not touching anything from the Charlotte Hornets side until I get confirmation LaMelo Ball being in or out. The New York Knicks taking on the Chicago Bulls. This is always a fun time, always a fun game, even going back into the 90s, right? Late 80s, early 90s with Michael Jordan, John Starks, Patrick Ewing. You're moving into like Allen Houston, Larry Johnson, Anthony Mason, right? Chicago, Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan, Dennis Rodman, Horace Grant, right? Always a good time anytime the New York Knicks and the Chicago Bulls take on one another. Jalen Brunson, though, game time decision. Stay on top of the Jalen Brunson news. If he is out, well, maybe we see Derrick Rose. Maybe they're clearing the way for Derrick Rose to start tonight versus the Chicago Bulls in Chicago. Wouldn't be crazy, right? D Rose getting the start, Jalen Brunson taking a seat in Chicago, former MVP Derrick Rose back in Chicago, the Windy City, taking on his former team, the Chicago Bulls. That would be kind of fun. We'll have to see what happens with Jalen Brunson. On the other side, Alex Caruso, game time decision tonight. Dosunmu, also a game time decision. Looks like Caruso's closer to probable than doubtful, so we got to kind of factor that Caruso's going to play. Dosunmu, a true game time decision. His status is up in the air. But as far as plays from this game go, Mitchell Robinson versus Nikola Vucevic and the Chicago Bulls, that could be a good look. We've seen Julius Randle have some pretty good games. He's going to have his hands full with Pat Williams. Pat Williams, a pretty good, scrappy defender. I could see DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine having a pretty good game. We know the New York Knicks, as far as defending wing positions, not the greatest in the world. The New York Knicks have kind of struggled a little bit defending those wings. Against shooting guards, they give up a pretty healthy little 20 6 or 7 rebounds, about 5 assists. Small forwards against the New York Knicks, though. 24 points per game, about 8 rebounds, about 4 assists. That's over 42 fantasy points per game. So maybe DeMar DeRozan is in play tonight. We could look at DeMar DeRozan. As far as other positions go, somebody's mentioning Nikola Vucevic versus the New York Knicks. I mean, that could be a possible play, I guess. But Mitchell Robinson's a pretty tough defender. You go all the way down here, you see that they're only giving up about 44 fantasy points per game. That comes out to about 17 points, 14 rebounds, about 3 assists. I don't know about Vucevic versus Mitchell Robinson tonight. But maybe. But yeah, DeMar DeRozan could absolutely shine. If Jalen Brunson's out, then I would think that R.J. Barrett and Julius Randle would probably benefit the most without Jalen Brunson. So maybe like an R.J. Barrett assist prop or something like that. I don't know. 225.5 points with a 4.5 point spread. Sacramento at Toronto, tipping off at 7:30 p.m. We saw Sacramento last night, so they're on a second leg of a back-to-back. 231.5 points, 5-point spread. Looks like Sacramento's going to be fully healthy outside of Alex Len, who is a game-time decision. Alex Len, not really a factor, though. We're not really worried about him. Domantas Sabonis had himself a pretty good game going last night until, Philadelphia decided to beat the brakes off of the Sacramento Kings, unfortunately. De'Aaron Fox has not looked good. He has been struggling. I'm not really interested in De'Aaron Fox tonight, especially against the Toronto Raptors, one of the better defenses in the league, especially against opposing point guards. So definitely not going to be taking any De'Aaron Fox tonight. And I think Domantas Sabonis might have his hands full with the likes of Pascal Siakam or Koloko. I'm not sure how they match up, but I don't know, man. Sacramento might be a little shaky tonight. Kevin Huerter over 1.5 turnovers has been a very good play. I don't know if we're getting that one today. But I played it last night and ended up hitting. No, they didn't give it to us today. But Kevin Huerter, if they give us his turnovers, that one's been hitting at a pretty high clip. He turned it over last night a few times in that game against the Philadelphia 76ers. Over on the Toronto side, no OG Anunoby, no Precious Achiuwa, no Otto Porter Jr. We got Juan Hernan-Gomez as a game-time decision as well. So it'll be Pascal Siakam, Scotty Barnes, Gary Trent Jr., and Fred VanVleet. So without OG Anunoby, somebody's going to have to step up on offense. That could very well be Gary Trent. That could be Fred VanVleet, who's been kind of shaky as of late. But those are some options to consider. Fred VanVleet's up at 19.5 points. We've seen him drop 25, 19, 20. Fred VanVleet could be an option. Pascal Siakam has been playing really good basketball. Struggled against Orlando in that last game for whatever reason, but he's only at 24.5 points tonight after a down game. Maybe we go back to him. He dropped 26, 29, 25, and 36 in 4 straight games before kind of crashing down a little bit to 19 against Orlando. But Siakam could be in a good spot tonight going up against this Sacramento Kings defense. I don't know if they're going to put Keegan Murray on Siakam, but if they do, sounds like barbecue chicken to me. Smells like it too. I could see Pascal Siakam having a good game against the Rook, Keegan Murray. All right. Moving on from that game, 8 o'clock, we got Portland at San Antonio. Devin Eubanks, game time decision. Josh Hart, game time decision. Guys, I put Damian Lillard as today's thumbnail player of the day. I think Damian Lillard against Trey Jones, another barbecue chicken type of spot here. We saw Damian Lillard go absolutely crazy in that last game. In fact, his last 3 games have been bonkers. 40 against Denver, 36 against Minnesota, and then he came back with 11 3-point makes and 38 points against Minnesota. So he has been on fire. En fuego for my Hispanic viewers out there. En fuego. I know a little Spanish, un poquito. But Damian Lillard tonight. Portland Trailblazers visiting the San Antonio Spurs. You got Trey Jones. Poor Trey Jones. I hate to be on the receiving end of a Damian Lillard 3-ball, right? Guy's nasty right now. Damian Lillard's been absolutely hot, so maybe he keeps the hot hand rolling against the Spurs tonight. Spurs dealing with a ton of injuries themselves. You got Wesley, Pirtle, Langford, Collins, all looking like doubtful or out. You got Josh Richardson, game time decision. You got Bates, Diop, game time decision. All right, so that's kind of what you're looking at. So it's going to be Trey Jones, Devin Vassell, and Keldon Johnson trying to hold things down. Who's this guy? Bassie. Well, I don't know. But all I got to say for Bassie is you're going to have your hands full with this big fella right here. Yusuf Nurkic absolutely in play. The San Antonio Spurs on the interior have not been very good since Jakob Poeltl has went out. Now you're talking Zach Collins may also be out. They're going to have to start this guy Bassey. Yusuf Nurkic, yes please, yes please. Maybe we sign up for some Yusuf Nurkic tonight going up against this San Antonio Spurs squad. Listen, the total's huge, 230.5, but the spread 7.5 could end up being a blowout here. So if you want to go maybe first half only, I don't hate that option either. If you want to go first half only, this could be one of them games where you go first half, but Yusuf Nurkic versus Bassey? Who? Damian Lillard versus Trey Jones? I mean, come on. We got some good matchups here on this Portland side. Moving on to the next game, Miami and OKC, 8 p.m. tip-off. Again, stay on top of this Miami Heat news. Some people are saying that Tyler Herro is going to be out tonight. As of right now, I'm showing him as probable. Victor Oladipo, probable. Duncan Robinson, Max Strus, also probable. Dwayne Dedmon, today's Dribble mystery player. He is a game-time decision as well. Jimmy Butler is out. All right, Jimmy Butler is out. Gabe Vincent out. Omer Yurtseven also out. So that's kind of the situation. You got Kyle Lowry, Tyler Herro, Caleb Martin, Max Strus, and Bam Adebayo going up against the Oklahoma City Thunder. No JRE, no Robinson Earl. Williams also out for OKC. So it's going to be Josh Giddey, SGA. You got Lou Dort, Williams, Pokashevsky all taking the floor for the Oklahoma City Thunder. But 223 points, 2.5 point spread. Guys, be careful with taking too many overs from this game. We saw a very painfully slow and low type of game from the Miami Heat the last time they played. Who'd they play? Was it Indiana? Neither one of those teams ended up hitting 90 points. It ended up like 87 to 80 or something like that. The Miami Heat play at a very slow pace. Very slow pace. I wouldn't take too many overs from this game. I'm just saying, don't expect a lot of offense here. 223 might be too generous, to be honest with you. We'll see. We'll see. Cleveland at Dallas, 9 p.m. Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell both look like they're going to be in the lineup tonight. You got Lamar Stevens, Evan Mobley, and Jarrett Allen taking on Luka Doncic, Spencer Dinwiddie, Tim Hardaway Jr. Timmy ended up getting back to what we had expected from Tim Hardaway Jr. in his last game against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Tim Hardaway Jr. finally kind of popped back up, so maybe that's a sign of things to come. He had 20 points last game against OKC. Dallas taking on Cleveland. We know Cleveland's kind of a tough team. Cleveland especially tough against opposing backcourts with Garland and Mitchell. Maybe the weak spot in the Cleveland defense can be exposed by this guy, Tim Hardaway Jr. I will say this, it's really hard to score in the paint against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Where you're going to have any success is going to be from deep, from distance, and that's Tim Hardaway Jr.'s specialty. Scoring from the perimeter, scoring from the outside, so I could see Tim Hardaway Jr. cracking 15 points tonight. I could see him cracking 15 points tonight. As long as they give him the shots and the opportunity, you're going to have to shoot the ball from distance, from deep against the Cleveland Cavaliers. That twin tower lineup of Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley doesn't give up a whole lot of points in the paint. This guy right here, he lives to score from the outside. So I think THJ could be another fine option. Maybe you go for like a 3-point prop on Luka Doncic or somebody like that. But it's going to be outside shooting if you're going to hope to have any kind of success against the Cleveland Cavaliers. But just a 215.5 point total, 2-point spread. So the game does look like it's going to be one that is close and competitive, but not a very high total, meaning don't expect a ton of offense here. As far as injuries go, no Maxi Kleber. He's a game-time decision for right now. Josh Green is out, so we'll have to kind of see what happens there with those, but not really impactful injury news. Moving on to the last two games of the night, the Washington Wizards dealing with a whole bunch of injuries, and they're taking on the Denver Nuggets tonight. This is one of the games that I expect that probably, most likely, will be a blowout, especially if Bradley Beal, Kristaps Porzingis sit out tonight. They are currently both game-time decisions. Rui Hachimura, DeLon Wright have been out for the last couple of games. They are also out tonight. You got Gill as a game-time decision, right? So Potentially Bradley Beal and Porzingis being out leaves this as a smash spot for the Denver Nuggets, meaning they're just going to steamroll Washington, most likely. No Michael Porter Jr. for the Denver Nuggets. You got Nikola Jokic, Aaron Gordon, Bruce Brown, KCP, Jamal Murray kind of holding down the fort. I don't mind some Jamal Murray tonight. I think he's probably in a pretty decent spot going up against a shorthanded Washington Wizards squad. We've seen Jamal Murray do work lately, right? 20 points against Atlanta, 21 against Portland, 30 against Utah. So, Monty Morris, revenge game. Does Monty Morris play tonight against his former team, the Denver Nuggets? I don't know. But I'm not really worried about him. I think Jamal Murray's probably in a fine position tonight. I don't mind Jokic either if Kristaps Porzingis ends up sitting out. That'll probably leave Daniel Gafford as their backup, their starting center. Jokic versus Gafford, yeah. But this is probably going to be a first half only style game for me with the spread being 10 points. I want to avoid any blowouts. I want to avoid any potential runaway situations, right? So I'd probably go first half only on that. Which brings us to the last game. Dealing with injury news, a lot of injury news today, 10-game slate. Minnesota at LA, the Clippers. 10 p.m. tip-off, guys. D'Angelo Russell, a game-time decision. His status truly up in the air at this moment. McLaughlin's out. Taurean Prince is out. Karl Anthony Towns is out. We've seen Rudy Gobert go absolutely bonkers lately. Rudy Gobert would be a fine play, probably going up against Ivica Zubac. We saw him have great success in back-to-back games against Jusuf Nurkic, who in my opinion is a better center than Ivica Zubac, but maybe Gobert is a fine play. Kyle Anderson, I've taken his assist in recent games, even with Russell. Kyle Anderson's been hitting that 4.5 assist number. Maybe they bump it up to 5.5 today. We'll have to see. But it's a wait-and-see approach for the Minnesota T-Wolves. You see PrizePicks does not have any Timberwolves props up on the board just yet. And the same thing for the Los Angeles Clippers. I'm going to wait to see who Minnesota has in or out tonight before I go selecting any Los Angeles Clippers. But like Kawhi Leonard, he's starting to see kind of his numbers climb, his minutes start to climb. Ty Lue's talking about getting him some more minutes here. They're going to be ramping his minutes up soon. Maybe you take him tonight. Outside of him, Paul George is continuing to play great basketball. He seems like he's in peak prime position. 29 points, 36 and 26 in his last 3 games. So Minnesota, I mean, they don't really match up very well with a guy like Paul George. Ant Edwards, as great as he is offensively, not the greatest when it comes to defense. You got McDaniels, Anderson. I don't really see anybody slowing Paul George down on this team. So maybe we go Paul George again. That could be another option for you. But I'm taking the wait and see approach on that game. So let's get to some questions, man. Let's get to some questions. I see you guys Zolo Baxter saying Jamal Murray has a history of cooking the Wizards. Well, that's good to know. That's good to know. Maybe we go Jamal Murray like I was talking about earlier, especially if the Wizards are shorthanded. No Monty Morris, no Bradley Beal. Who's slowing Jamal Murray down? Got a couple of super chats coming through. Appreciate the super chats. Anthony Ruiz says, hello, just here for the comments. En fuego. Yeah, that's right, buddy. That's right. I know you're Puerto Rican. I tried to reach out to my Puerto Rican viewers out there by speaking un poquito español when I can. All right. Thank you for the super chat, Mr. Ruiz. Appreciate that, bro. Appreciate that. What else we got here? Just looking through your comments. Everyday Fantasy coming through. He says, Merry Christmas, fam. Everybody has a value 6-pack. Okay, I got you. So you're dropping 6 different picks that you're liking here. First of all, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. And guys, if you have any questions that you want me to answer, any immediate pressing questions, needs, or anything like that, super chat. You can support the channel. You can support the show. Leave a super chat. It'll highlight your comment. I'll go as deep as I could possibly go and research that pick for you here live on the show, just like Everyday Fantasy is doing here. So he's got 6 picks that he's liking. He's liking Donovan Mitchell for more than 24.5 points. Let's go find Donovan Mitchell. Where's he at today? 24.5 does sound kind of low for Donovan Mitchell. When you hear that number, you're like, kind of makes your ears stand up a little bit, right? Where's he at? 24.5 versus Dallas. Okay. Donovan Mitchell, you said, is one that you like. Who else you got? You got Simons for 20.5 points. Where's he at? Boom. Going up against San Antonio tonight. All right. We'll talk about that one. Nikola Vucevic at 9.5 rebounds. All right, let's look at that. Somebody mentioned Vucevic earlier against Mitchell Robinson and the New York Knicks. He's also liking Paul George. We just talked about Paul George at 23.5 points. It seems like one of those picks where Minnesota doesn't really seem to have an answer for Paul George, at least from what it looks like on paper. And then our guy, Dame Dollar, Damian Lillard at 26.5 points. All right, and you're wanting to take overs or the more on all of these from what you're saying here. All right. Well, let's look at them real quick. That's a 5. You said a 6-pack. Did I miss one? Mitchell, got him. Simons, got him. Vucevic, got him. George, that's 5. Where's the 6? Where's the 6-pack? You sold a short by 1 pick. Oh, there you go. Banchero, 19.5 points. I got you, baby. I got you. All right, let's go find Banchero. 19.5 points for Paolo Banchero of the Orlando Magic. Bang. All right, now we got our 6-piece. 6-piece. With sweet and sour sauce. Where are we going? Polynesian? Chick-fil-A sauce? What kind of sauce we like? We got the 6-piece value pack here. Let's start with Donovan Mitchell. That was the first one that you named. You want to take a look at Donovan Spider Mitchell going up against Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks. Mitchell sitting at 24.5. We've seen him at 25.5 recently. We've seen him at 26.5 recently. So we're going to look at this one real quick using props.cash. Guys, if you don't use props.cash to do your player prop research, you're really missing out. It's got everything you want, everything you need built right into one application, one tool. Really, really affordable too at just $19.99 per month. All you got to do is go down to the description of today's video. I've left a link to save you 25% off your first month of props.cash. All right, 25% off when you use code Curry. So go take a look at that. But we bump Donovan Mitchell down to 24.5 points. And all we see is a bunch of green here. More green, a lot more green than we do red, right? At 24.5 points, 18 for 24. 18 for 24 this season, 75% hit rate. If you don't like a 75% hit rate, I don't know what to tell you. But it's looking pretty green here, right? Donovan Mitchell, 18 for 24, 75% hit rate. The last 10 games for Donovan Mitchell at 24.5. He's 7 for 10 as well, 70%. The last 5 games, a little bit more shaky, a little bit more dicey, 3 for 5, 60%. But nonetheless, for the season, showing a very nice hit rate here, 18 for 24, 75%, averaging 29 points per game, 27.8 points per game in his last 10, and 29.2 points per game in his last 5. So things are looking pretty good here for Donovan Mitchell. We take a look at the Dallas defense, seeing some mixed results in here. They don't allow a whole lot of points. We talked about the low total of this game at just 215.5 points. High field goal percentage though, so the shots that do go up against Dallas are going in at a high clip. 3-pointers allowed, they rank 8th. 3-point field goal percentage, 25th. 18th in free throws allowed, and 3rd against shooting guards. So pretty good defense when it comes to guarding shooting guards. So there you go. Donovan Mitchell, a little bit of information about him. No games this season against the Dallas Mavericks, but if we go back to last season, Mitchell on the Utah Jazz, you can kind of see what he was able to do against the Dallas Mavericks in those games. Had 33, 17, 12, not so good there. 32, 34, 32. 23, 9, and 23. So he was 5 for 10 against the Dallas Mavericks last season at 24.5 points, meaning a 50% hit rate. A 50% hit rate. But that was last season. Different team, whole different situation, whole different scenario. But yeah, it's hard not to love an 18 for 24, 75% hit rate. Here's what I'm curious about though with this pick. I want to know how Donovan Mitchell has done when he's on the road. Is he better on the road, worse on the road? Is he better at home, worse at home? Let's take a look at the home and road splits. Some guys just tend to score better when they play at home. Some guys tend to score better when they're on the road. Some guys are kind of unimpacted or unaffected by that, meaning they don't care if they're at home or away. Their numbers are pretty much relatively the same, whether they're playing in front of their own fans or the visiting fans. So let's take a look at Donovan Mitchell here. So he's averaging 29 points per game this season. When he plays at home, he is averaging 29 points per game this season. All right, tonight he is going to be on the road. So let's take a look at that. On the road, 29 points per game this season. So he is just a 29 point per game guy. Doesn't matter if he's playing at home, doesn't matter if he's playing away. On the road though, 10 for 13 this season, 77% hit rate, slightly higher hit rate when he plays on the road than when he is at home. So that's not bad. I don't hate this. Not terrible, right? He's not really impacted by the home or road split. Looking pretty good. Looking pretty good here. Taking a look at the DVP real quick. Donovan Mitchell, I would call him your shooting guard. I would call Darius Garland more of your point guard. Donovan Mitchell at 24.5 points. Let's go see how many points per game Dallas has given up to opposing shooting guards. We go all the way down to the bottom. You're giving up the fourth fewest, just 20.8 points per game to opposing shooting guards, the fourth fewest. So on a per game basis, the average not looking great. It's looking a little scary for Donovan Mitchell. There's probably a reason why he's at 24.5 points, but we know that Mitchell's been very good this season when it comes to scoring the basketball. We've seen him have success on the road, at home. It doesn't matter. We've seen him have success last season against Dallas. So, Donovan Mitchell's not in a bad spot tonight. Let's get you a projection on Donovan Mitchell. Probably be better if I typed in his first name since we got Mitchell Robinson also on the slate. And we're taking a look at just his points right now, just his points. He's projected for 23.9 points, which puts him right around 24 points according to the action projection tools. Scroll over a little bit. We're going to take a look at some of these sports books. Some of the sports books have Donovan Mitchell at 25.5. Some of the others have him at 26.5, meaning just like yesterday, today we are seeing some value here. What do I mean by value? I mean that PrizePicks has him at a low number at 24.5. We're seeing him at 25 and 26.5. What does that mean? Well, it means that the sportsbook lines makers on DraftKings, on FanDuel, DraftKings, for instance, has them at 25.5. That means they think 25 to 26 points is a possible outcome, right? They try to set a line that is as close as humanly possible to a 50% over under, right? A coin flip. They want to make the line as close to a 50-50 as possible. So they've set their line on DraftKings to 25.5, meaning 25 to 26 points is a possible range of outcomes. That's what their lines makers thinks will happen. Now, both 25 and 26 points is higher than 24.5. So we are getting value. We are getting a lower line, a cheaper line here on Donovan Mitchell. I like paying less. You like paying less. Who the hell likes paying more? Don't raise your hand. You'll look like an idiot. Nobody likes paying more for anything. All right, FanDuel, they've got him at 26.5, as does PointsBet, as does Parks, Bet Rivers, Rivers Resort. A number of these other sports books out there have him at 26.5. So their lines makers, this is their job, setting lines for NBA player props. Their lines makers think 26 to 27 points is an outcome for Donovan Mitchell tonight going up against the Dallas Mavericks. Hopefully they're good at their jobs. Hopefully they're good at what they do. So 26 to 27 points is a possible outcome for Mitchell. So why wouldn't you take a shot here on the over at 24.5? A guy who's hit this in 75% of his games. We're getting 1 to 2 points of value versus some of these other sports books. I think you're right in clicking over or clicking the more on Donovan Mitchell. What do you guys think? Let me know. Do you like paying less? Do you like Donovan Mitchell at 24.5 points? Why or why not? That's a good start. Anthony Simons is another guy that you mentioned. Now, for me, I don't know if I want to take both Simons and Lillard. Both could probably eat. In other words, both could probably hit their prop. But for me, I kind of go with the old daily fantasy sports mentality where, it's like, if I expect Damian Lillard to have a really good game, then maybe that means it comes at Simons' expense. Maybe Simons doesn't have such a great game if I'm banking on Lillard having a great game. Maybe Jeremy Grant has a great game, Lillard has a great game, and Simons is left out in the cold. We kind of saw that happen in the last game versus the Minnesota Timberwolves, I believe. So Lillard ended up with 38 in that last game. Simons ended up with just 12. We take a look at that game against Denver, where Simons ended up with 6 points. Well, guess who went off that game? Damian Lillard with 40 points. So I don't know how often that both of these guys are hitting their points props together on the same night in the same game. For me, I would probably just pick one of these two guys. Try to decide between Lillard or Simons. I don't know that I would want to go with both, though. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying here? Lillard's had some pretty big games against Denver and against Minnesota, where Simons has not. 6 and 12. So, if I'm going to play one of these guys, I'm just going to pick one. I'm not going to play both. But let's look at Lillard real quick. Damian Lillard made our thumbnail today. He has been absolutely hot the last 3 games. He has just been on fire. He's been killing it, right? Damian Lillard, baller. Nothing more that needs to be said about that. He's at 26.5 points today on PrizePicks. He's set by default to 27.5 on Props.Cash. Let's bump him down to 26.5. We take a look at Damian Lillard here. 7 for 15 this season. 7 for 15 this season, 47% hit rate. Not great. Not a great hit rate, 7 for 15, 47%. Not like Donovan Mitchell, who's hitting at 75%, did we say? But nonetheless, he's averaging 28.3 points per game, 26.9 in his last 10. And then in his last 5 games, mostly these last 3, 29.6 points per game. He's facing the San Antonio Spurs tonight. We talked about the Spurs, how bad they are defensively. They give up the most points. They give up the highest field goal percentage. They give up a really high total of 3-pointers allowed. They give up the highest 3-point field goal percentage allowed. Not a lot of free throws given up. And they rank 29th in point guard defense. Now, you can make an argument here that Damian Lillard's the shooting guard. You could make an argument that he's the point guard. Same thing for Simons, right? Both of these guys kind of point guard, shooting guard, combo guard style players. Neither one of them is like a Chris Paul floor general. Both of these guys are like score first type of point guards. Both can get in their bag. Both can get buckets. So there's Damian Lillard for you. Now, what about Anthony Simons? We talked about him at 20.5. Simons, a lot higher hit rates than Damian Lillard at just 20.5. 17 for 25 this season, 68% hit rate. Now, we've seen Lillard go off 3 straight games. We've seen Simon in that same 3-game span just hit this in 1 out of 3. Cold game against Denver with 6 points. Cold game against Minnesota in their last game with just 12 points. But overall, 17 for 25, 68% hit rate. So that's not looking too bad. Averaging 23.7 for the season, 24.8 in the last 10, 23.2 in the last 5. And he's already faced San Antonio once this season, putting up 23 points against them. I think Damian Lillard was out for that game, though, if I'm not mistaken. I believe Dame was out. But yeah, both of these guys in really good spots. Both of these guards in very good spots. And again, you're getting Anthony Simons here at a discount at just 20.5 points. Let's go take a look here at some of these sports books, some of the projections for guys like Lillard and Simons. Going back to Lillard real quick, he's at 26.5 points here on PrizePicks. We're seeing him at 27.5, 28.5 on some of these sports books. So kind of like Donovan Mitchell, right? Good projection here for Lillard at 28.1, according to the action projection tools. And then we're seeing him on these sports books as a big betting favorite, minus 135 at 27.5 points. Minus 125 at 27.5 points. Minus 120, minus 121 at 27.5 points. And then FanDuel's got him at 28.5 points, meaning their lines makers, unless they're drunk off the eggnog already, they think he's going to go for 28 to 29 points tonight against San Antonio. For those of you who are not mathematicians, 28 points is more than 26.5. 29 points is more than 28 and more than 26.5 points. So again, unless their lines makers are drunk off that eggnog, they think Damian Lillard's going to go for 28 to 29 points tonight. And I know they're not trying to lose money, so of course they're going to set as good of a line, as sharp of a line as possible, right? So Lillard could be in a good spot, a good position to kind of keep this hot streak going, 40, 36, 38. We just need 27 out of him tonight. Well, what about his teammate, his backcourt mate, Anthony Simons? Let's take a look here and see if we're getting value like we are Damian Lillard. Simons projected for about 21.6 points. 21.6 is a higher projection than the 20.5 on PrizePicks. We scroll over here. He is at 21.5 on some sports books. Minus 120 odds, so not as good of the odds as Damian Lillard was at 27.5 points, right? Stronger juice on Lillard at 27.5 points. Then we're seeing on Simons here at 21.5 points. Minus 120 though. Still, people are betting the over at 21.5. And then we're seeing him at 22.5 on some of these other sports books. At 22.5, you're seeing some resistance here, meaning you're seeing folks betting the under at 22.5. They're not so confident that he goes for 23, but they are confident that he goes for 22. But nonetheless, with a line set at 21.5, they think 21 to 22 points is a possible outcome. Line set at 22.5, they think 22 to 23 points is a possible outcome. All of those outcomes are more than 20.5. So both of these guys are going to be in play. Again, I don't think I would play both of them. Now, is there a scenario? Is there a situation where both of them can hit their points props? Absolutely. Absolutely. But for me, I think I would pick one or the other. I don't know that I would go with both. I think just based on the odds, based on the fact that he's hot right now, maybe I would go with Damian Lillard. All right. Not to say that I hate Simons, but just based on what we're seeing on the sports books, stronger juice, stronger odds coming in for Damian Lillard at 27.5 points, a whole point higher than PrizePicks. Either way, though, you're getting a good discount on either one of these guys. All right, let's move on here then. We talked about Lillard. We talked about Simons. Talked about Mitchell. Who else we liking? Nikola Vucevic was one that was mentioned as well by Everyday Fantasy. He's liking him going up against Mitchell Robinson and the New York Knicks tonight. So let's talk about Vucevic rebounds. We'll switch it up. Vuce is at 9.5 boards. We've seen him hit or miss. Hit or miss today. Vucevic, 11 against Golden State, 6 against Sacramento, 11 against Washington, 8 and 8 against Dallas and Atlanta in his last couple of games. Now, you guys were saying something about got to go look up Nikola Vucevic versus the New York Knicks. So let's do it. Let's do it. Nikola Vucevic rebounds versus Knicks logs. All right. This is how you can use StatMuse to kind of help look at some historical matchups. A guy like Vucevic versus the New York Knicks, right? We want to see how he's done covering this rebound prop of 9.5. And StatMuse can kind of help you dig into some older game logs and stuff. So pretty cool feature. You go down here, you take a look at some of these games against the Knicks. Since joining the Chicago Bulls in games against the New York Knicks, I mean, he hasn't pulled in like great rebound numbers. He's had some okay, results. We'll say mixed results. He had 18 boards against New York back in 2021. 18 boards is great. Yes, 18 boards is great. Then he had 8 and he had 7 rebounds in his next 2 matchups against the Knicks. And he comes back with 13 rebounds earlier this year at the end of last season, March 28th against New York. Now, you could get more granular with this if you wanted to. And instead of saying the Knicks, you can say Mitchell Robinson specifically, since he's going to be the starting center for New York tonight. Now, the numbers since joining the Chicago Bulls haven't been great against Mitchell Robinson. They've been okay. Again, 8 rebounds, 7 rebounds, and then 13 rebounds. So games against Mitchell Robinson. Let's just make sure that Mitchell Robinson was starting in these games. He's going to be starting tonight. We know that much. Mitchell Robinson, your starting center. Julius Randle was in there for that one as well. So you got both Randle and Robinson in the front court. We go take a look at this game. There's Mitchell Robinson again. You've got Julius Randle again. So again, that'll be the front court matchup for Nikola Vucevic and the Chicago Bulls tonight. And again, you got Mitchell Robinson and Julius Randle. So Robinson-Randle combo have been in for each of those last 3 games. So he's only really went over one time in 3 matchups against the Robinson-Randle combo in that front court since joining the Chicago Bulls. Now, yeah, you can jump in the time machine. You can go way back and look at all of these games, when he was a member of the Orlando Magic. For me, that's less relevant. That's less relevant than these more recent games when he was with the Chicago Bulls. But go for it. Knock yourself out. If you want to place a bet on a game today, December 2022, based on what he did back in I don't know, November of 2018, I guess you could do that. I don't know that that's a sound strategy. Like, take it into consideration, I guess is what I'm saying. Take it into consideration, but don't put too much faith or too much weight into what he's done against Mitchell Robinson when he was a member of the Orlando Magic back in 2019. That's all I'm saying. More recent data is probably better data. All right. Anyway, let's move forward here. Take a look at Nikola Vucevic and his rebounds. We've got New York taking on Chicago tonight in Chicago. We're going to go find Nikola Vucevic and just take a look at his game logs. He's at 9.5 rebounds. This season, he's 14 for 26, 54% hit rate. 54% hit rate. All right. A little bit better than a coin flip. 10.7 for the season. 9.2 in his last 10, and we've seen his average fall once again in his last 5. So we're starting to see his averages for the season, for the last 10 games, for the last 5 games dip. Not trending in the right direction, especially if we're thinking about taking an over tonight, right? In other words, he was rebounding better earlier in the season than he has been in the last 5 to last 10 games. Last 10 games, just 4 for 10, 40%. Averaging 9.2 rebounds per game. Last 5 games, 2 for 5, 40% hit rate, just an 8.8 rebound per game average. So you got that. New York, as far as defense goes, rebounds allowed to opposing teams, they rank 25th. That's a good situation, right? 29th in offensive rebounds allowed. You get a couple of offensive rebounds per game, but what we're really more focused on is the defensive rebounds allowed by the New York Knicks. And you've got that at 21. All right, so Vucevic, been struggling. He's trending in the wrong direction when it comes to rebounds lately. He's just 1 for 3. 1 for 3 since joining the Chicago Bulls against this front court of Robinson and Randall. So I would stick to those more recent game logs, Chicago versus New York. But anyway, projection for Vucevic rebounds, I got him at 10.7. That's higher than 9.5. We take a look at where he's at on the sports books. He's going to be at 9.5 rebounds on all major sports books at this time. Betting favorite too, -130, -138, -140. So you are getting some good juice, some good traction on the books, meaning bettors like you and I who have access to these online sports books, they're going out there, they're betting the over on Nikola Vucevic going up against this New York Knicks front court tandem of Mitchell Robinson and Julius Randle. Just taking a look at the DVP here real quick. New York giving up about 14 rebounds per game to centers. You see where that ranks them. They're actually down toward the bottom. So I'm surprised that some of these bettors are so confident on Nikola Vucevic going for more than 9.5 boards. But you kind of see where they rank, down toward the bottom. We can even look at the last 7 games. Last 7 games, New York Knicks are giving up about 12.6 rebounds per game to centers. Remember, Vucevic isn't the only center on the team. They've also got Andre Drummond. So this isn't rebounds allowed to starting centers. This is just rebounds allowed to all centers, right? So that'd be Vucevic and Andre Drummond coming off of the bench. So they're giving up about just 12.6 per game, less than 13 per game in the last 7 games. So Vucevic is trending down. The New York Knicks are allowing fewer rebounds in the last 7 games. Just something to kind of keep in mind. I don't think it's a home run hit, but if you like it, well, it's your money. I mean, you could do what you want with it. We got more porn bots in here. My goodness, they love my sports betting content apparently. Let's go ahead and take these guys out, eliminate them. There we go. Boom. Get your freaky ass out of here, bot. I hear you, bro. I hear you. Love that. Thank you, Fear Shaolin, for the support. All right. Paul George. Oh, they've moved Paul George's points up from 23.5 to 24.5, gang. New feature here on PrizePicks. See that? Let me move out of the way. There we go. Paul George. Let me scoot over. Paul George points has now been shifted from 23.5 or bumped from 23.5 to 24.5, gang. So PG-13 is no longer 23.5. He is now 24.5. Maybe you got him in there. Maybe you didn't, but he was one of the ones that we had in there. All right. Last but not least, let's talk Paolo Banchero at 19.5 points. That was the other one that my man Everyday Fantasy was interested in taking. Mr. Banchero here, averaging over 20 points per game for the season. We've seen him since coming back from his injury start off a little bit slow, but in the last 4 games, he's really started to pick up the pace. 20, 23, 23, and 20 points in his last 4. All right, 20, 23, 23, and 20 points in his last 4 games. Going up against some tough teams too. Milwaukee, Los Angeles Clippers, Toronto Raptors back-to-back. All right. So Banchero's been getting it done against some very tough opponents. Now tonight he's playing against the Atlanta Hawks. We already talked about John Collins out for Atlanta. Let's go take a look here at a larger sample of games for Paolo Banchero going up against tonight's opponent, the Atlanta Hawks. No John Collins, possibly no Trae Young. We're still waiting on that news, but either way, Banchero, let's bump him down to 19.5. Guys, we got a 76% hit rate here for Paolo Banchero. Like I said, he's averaging over 20 points per game, 21.8 points per game for the season to be exact, 19.8 points per game in his last 10, still 19 points per game in his last 5. He had one down game against the Toronto Raptors, but outside of that, he's hit this in 7 out of his last 8 games. And then against the Atlanta Hawks, he's already played the Hawks a couple of times this season. At 19.5 points, he's covered in both games, posting 20 points in each of those 2 games. So Paolo Banchero, 2 for 2 against the Hawks, 75% hit rate this season, 16 for 21. We could also take a look at the splits for him when he plays at home. When he plays at home, he is 10 for 12, 83%. And he's hit this in 5 straight home games. All right, 10 for 12 when he plays at home, averaging 22.7 points per game. Uh-oh, Donovan Mitchell's been bumped. Hopefully you got Donovan Mitchell in. He's now went from 24-5 to 25-5. Let me move out of the way. You see that? Donovan Mitchell just got the bump from 24-5 to 25-5. Hopefully you got it in, guys. Hopefully you got it in. Paolo Banchero probably going to be next. He's probably going to be next because there's a lot of people watching. And I'm sure you guys, as you're watching, you're entering some slips on PrizePicks, right? Don't be surprised if Banchero goes from 19.5 to 25 real soon. But yeah, he's 10 for 12 on the when he plays at home this season. 10 for 12 at home, 83%. 2 for 2 versus the Hawks. All right, and he's got a 75% hit rate overall. 16 for 21. Actually, 76% hit rate. 16 for 21. No John Collins. I think the matchup gets even easier for Banchero tonight without John Collins in there. All right, so he's looking pretty good. Let's get you a projection on Banchero here for his 19.5 points. Do we think he goes over or under? Well, got him projected for 23.1 points. 23.1 is a whole heck of a lot more than 19.5. We're also looking at these sports books. These sports books have him at 20.5, gang. 20.5, and he's a betting favorite to go over at 20.5. We're talking minus 125 odds, minus 122 odds. So you're getting a point of value here on PrizePicks on Banchero. 76% hit rate for the season, 83% hit rate when he plays at home. He's been cooking the last 4 games. He's hit this. So Banchero for more than 19.5 points makes a lot of sense. So we've already seen Donovan Mitchell bumped while live with you today. Donovan Mitchell's points have been bumped. We've seen Paul George's points bumped. No bump yet for Damian Lillard. No bump yet for Paolo Banchero. And no bump yet for the other guy, Anthony Simons. We were talking about Anthony Simons earlier. No bump for him yet. So coming soon. I'm sure you'll see these guys get bumped up a point. All right. But still some value on these 3, Banchero, Lillard, and Simons. So there you go. Did we have any other super chats? I don't see any. Appreciate the new subscribers though. I see we've got Uchenna Ikichi, Orlando Perez, and Christian R. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. I appreciate all of you. Yep, Donovan Mitchell got bumped. Paul George got bumped. Both of those. Both of those guys got bumped. So there you go. All right. Well, I think that's gonna be it, man. No more super chats, no more questions to be answered via super chat. So I think we've talked about a lot. Hopefully, you guys locked in some of that value. There's going to be more picks and plays as news starts to kind of come out for some of these injuries. So stay on top of the news, gang. You know, we're waiting on some pretty big injury news when we talk about guys like Trae Young, game time decision, right? Going through here, LaMelo Ball, game time decision, Jalen Action Brunson. Also a game time decision, so we got to wait on him. Who else? What were some of the other injury news pieces that we were waiting for? I think Jimmy Butler's already out. Tyler Herro looks like he's good to go. D'Angelo Russell was another big one. Bradley Beal, Kristaps Porzingis injury news. Monty Morris, not so much as major, but yeah, there's definitely some games and some injury pieces that we have to kind of stay on the lookout for. So again, definitely take advantage of the 12 days of Picksmas. They're going to be doing a promo every single day over on PrizePicks. If you're not playing on PrizePicks yet, promo code Curry gets you that 100% instant deposit match on your first deposit. Again, this is just for first depositors, unfortunately. But yeah, that code Curry gets you that deposit match. So I've left a link down in the description below for that. If you want to sign up and use props.cash, I'd recommend it. Code Curry gets you that 20% or 25% discount on your first month of props.cash. And then on top of that, of course, we picked our free 2-pick winner, which was our guy, Kyle Kaz. So Kyle, definitely DM me, reach out to me. I want to get you set up for that risk-free 2-pick power play to score $100 on PrizePicks. If you guys want to win yourselves a free 2-pick power play, all you have to do is subscribe, like today's video. Once I end the stream, the replay gets posted to YouTube. Go to the comment section, comment with your favorite pick, your favorite prop of the day. You don't have to get it right. You don't have to get it wrong. Of course, we would like for all your picks, all your comments to be right, just in case someone else sees that pick and they want to tail it. Maybe you help somebody win some money tonight, all right? We're going to give back. PrizePicks is giving back. I'm giving back. I'm trying to help you guys with your player prop research, land on some valuable picks, but I appreciate it. Definitely run those likes up if you haven't yet. Subscribe if you haven't yet. That's the only way you can win one of those free 2-pick power plays. Be a subscriber. Support the channel. I appreciate your support. It goes a long way, and thank you. Thank you so much. Guys, catch you in the next one. Good luck on your entries tonight. Peace out.